All right, everyone, a lot of people are speculating that Jill Biden has something to do with the fact that Kamala Harris is the border czar, because keep in mind, Kamala Harris has not visited the border yet. And I'll explain in brief here why. If Kamala Harris goes to the border, because it's her first visit, all the reporters will be there, all of the activists will be like, James O'Keefe would probably be there and everything. Everyone would want to take pictures and get the skinny on the details and stuff. The problem is that Kamala is then put into an impossible scenario. She can tell the truth and say, look, the border's all fucked up. As borders are after months and months, the situation's still messed up. We got to expand the facilities even further just to be at capacity. There are chronic shortages where the children are being held too long or given over to people we haven't properly vetted. People are literally dying in custody. COVID is rampant here. Yeah, basically it's a shit hits the fan scenario. By the way, it's my fault because Biden specifically appointed me as border czar. Or she can lie. And then if an expose comes out and says, whoa, she lied about the border, oh boy, wouldn't that get egg on her face. Her main priority in the first year of the entire vice presidency, she completely flopped at. Yeah, there's a qualified VP for you. Yeah, if Biden goes bye-bye, we're in good hands, right? See, the problem is that optically it's a no-win situation. So she would rather not go to the border and continue to take the attrition, which she is taking, of not even apparently doing her job, than risk the fact that she goes there and it's 10 times worse. Now, did Jill Biden have something to do with Kamala Harris being appointed to this impossible situation to handicap her and make her look bad? Some people speculate that's the fact. If you look at the real-world physical interactions whenever Kamala and Jill Biden are in proximity, if you look at Kamala's face, and I know it can be hard because she does this with most people, it looks like her smile is very fake. Jill Biden does that slightly, almost Hillary Clinton-esque hoity-toity, slightly lifted head, I'm a little bit better than you look. I can read it, I've seen it from politicians before. Now, I have a theory about why this would be the case. And again, I don't know that that's the case. It could just be Kamala's awkward. Jill Biden looks at her, sees a person with brown skin. Maybe she's racist or something. I mean, we know Joe is bigoted. I think it's this. Jill Biden and Joe Biden are a power couple. They're like the Clintons or the Bushes or something. While they don't have, I think, the mental capacity, like they're psychos in some sense. While I don't think they have the capacity for like a normal romantic undying love, Romeo and Juliet sort of thing, they certainly have the capacity to be very, very ironclad together. They'd probably kill for one another. Not because, hey, I love you so much, I shall avenge you, my sweetie, but more like, hey, we're a mafia couple. Snorting coke together, and hey, if one of us goes down, the other one goes down, so we're fighting back to back. You can almost, sort of, in a roundabout way, you can honestly admire it at times. Even with the Clintons. Like, they're probably responsible for dozens of deaths, but at the end of the day, it is kind of a Bonnie and Clyde thing. It's sort of an American power couple story. It's something from a fucking soap opera. I think Jill Biden looks at it this way. She realizes that her husband was a real powerhouse. He was a top-grade senator, very well-spoken, very powerful. He was VP. As VP, while he was kind of a chucklehead, known as the gaffe master vice president, it's still a powerful position. He's a heart attack or an assassination away from the presidency. So she sees this former very powerful man now. He's senescent. He's becoming demented. He's not all with it. He waited too long to run for this office. He should have done it years ago. Of course, he failed in 2008. He had the chance when Obama was leaving to really throw his hat in, and it didn't happen because Hillary Clinton was involved. I think that the Clintons and Bidens have a little bit of a problem with each other. I think the Clintons backed the idea of having Kamala as VP so that they would have essentially a puppet who would inevitably become president because Joe happens to be pushing 80 years old. The likelihood of Joe Biden getting through this entire term without either being so demented he has no choice but to step down, or is forced out by the 25th Amendment, or dies because he does have health problems. He's had several aneurysms. He's had several falls in recent years. The writing is on the wall. I think that Jill Biden resents that. I think she says, basically, my husband is being used as a laughingstock. They're propping up his decrepit form in order to get Kamala in there, and she doesn't like it. I think she genuinely doesn't. Does that mean that she was part of this decision-making process? Not necessarily. It also could have been Joe's idea. Because while he's kind of out of it, I don't think he likes Kamala Harris either. I don't think that he liked being called bigoted by her. I don't think that he liked it when Kamala Harris tried to stare him down and get him to kneel and apologize. I really think that there is a bigoted part of him that says, look at this uppity person and how they're fucking talking to me. A long-term senator, former VP, possibly next president, fuck you. I think that it might have been Joe's idea. It also could have been the cabal behind Joe Biden that ostensibly really makes the decisions. Jill is the de facto leader around of the figurehead because she has to corral Biden. Joe Biden is rarely anywhere where Jill Biden isn't because she has to swoop in if he makes a mistake and lead him off by the arm. She's done this many, many times, very, very literally. It's possible that it was their choice. They're like, well, we got to get someone in there palatable for a VP slot for the left, so we'll do Kamala because she's female and she's not entirely white, so that ticks both boxes. And then we'll give her this job because we want to shield Joe. We don't need Joe to be knocked off his pedestal yet. We'll give the job to Kamala Harris, sort of as a test. We'll see if she's capable of dealing with a situation where the best possible outcome is literally doing nothing. Now, is the border going to get better? Marginally over a very long span of time. The problem is it seems to be worse now than it was a few months ago, and they have to keep trotting Psaki out there to say, well, the border crisis is stabilized. Yeah, it's stabilized in the sense that you haven't increased capacity more. It's still like, what, 600-700% in some of these facilities. That's not an improvement. That's a stagnation of the situation. Kamala, as border czar, has to this day not once visited the border. She flies to Guatemala, meets with the Mexican government not far from actual Mexico, but she can't bother to stop over in McAllen for a day? Like, that's going to take time out of her busy schedule. You're literally in charge of the U.S. border situation, but you're going off to lecture the Guatemalans not to come. What the hell fucking possible sense does this particular strategy make? Maybe they told her to do this. Maybe you know what would be really funny? If the powers that be really didn't like Kamala, literally just used her as the diversity hire to get Biden in there, and now they're throwing her under the bus. Maybe the cabal doesn't like Kamala Harris. There are a million different possibilities, and of course, the way that the opaque Democratic Party works, you're not really going to have evidence one way or the other, unless you have, like, leaked emails or something. That'd be funny. Can you imagine the emails of Dem officials about Kamala Harris? And I think she knows it. I think there's a reason why whenever she's challenged on anything, she does her little psycho laugh and refuses to answer the question. I think she's batshit. I think there's something dreadfully wrong with her. I think the person who is one heartbeat away from being the next president, potentially, president in name, asterisk administration, of course, is bizarre. I think her mentality is crazy. A little bit like a less intelligent Hillary Clinton, which might be why Hillary, I think, had something to do with the choice-making process. And if you think that she doesn't have her hooks sunk deep in the party still, of course. She may be old and decrepit and a double loser, but she's still there. She's still got a lot of powerful friends, even if she, I think, used up a lot of her favors in 2016. And unfortunately, Trump had a lot of favors, too, counterbalancing them, and she didn't quite realize that. That's about all. Peace out.